What's going on, everybody? Welcome to an episode of DC Hoopla. I'm your main man, K. Jose. I got my guest on here, my main man, Jason. Jason, how you doing this evening, my brother?
I'm doing okay, brother. I'm doing good, K. Jose. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. So we're gonna talk a little bit of sports here, talk a little bit of the Wiz, and then we'll do something different. I guess we'll talk about your Commanders, man. I'm not a Commanders fan, but I gotta ask you some questions regarding that. So before we get started, tell everybody a little bit about yourself, what you all into, and how they can follow you.
Yes, well, full name, Jason Simmons. I live in the DMV, actually. I stay in Baltimore, Maryland. Been living up there for about 3 years. I'm originally from PG County, Temple Hills, Maryland. So I lived there for about a little over 40 years. Diehard Washington Commanders fan. And been a Redskins / Commanders fan since the day I was born. So been rooting for them no matter where I live.
Right.
I'm a music producer on the side. So been working on that for about 10 years now. And that's it. That's about it.
All right. Well, we're definitely going to get into those Commanders and talk about them a little bit. Matter of fact, let's just go ahead and start with them first. So, you and I, we talked a little bit offline, and there was a question that I saw on social media on Twitter, and the question was, depending on you guys playing against the Falcons, if y'all lose to the Falcons, should you fire the head coach? You being a Commanders fan, what you got to say about that? How you feeling, bro?
Well, I'll tell you what, man. I've been watching a lot of media this past week, and people have been kind of thinking the same thing I've been thinking. It's like Ron Rivera's days are numbered. I believe they are numbered. A lot of people have said, man, like, they believe that they could fire him before the end of the season. Now, would that be smart? I don't know if that would be the smartest move because, Washington has done this stuff before where they fired a coach in the middle of the season and do an interim. And there was never any continuity with that. You gotta, if you're going to do something like that, I feel like you should wait until the season's over, have a clean slate.
No.
Yeah, and have a clean slate. Do what you have to do and start over afresh. But Ron Rivera has been criticized a lot about his play scheme.
Right.
His play scheme has been criticized a lot with a lot of fans, running on plays where you should be passing and passing on plays where you should be running. And that's become like a lot of people feel like he's become inept to the offensive needs, And if you recall, like if you go back to maybe in the off season when, they said that players and stuff were complaining about Eric Bieniemy and the way he was coaching the guys and stuff like that might have been too hard. I honestly think that could have been something that came from Rivera's mouth more or less than the players, because the players don't seem to have a problem with it. When you talk to all the players, a lot of them don't seem to have a problem with that.
Right. So, man, when you go ahead, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I'm good.
Yeah. So, man, when I think of like what's going on with the Commanders, it's kind of similar to what's going on with the Wizards and even my Raiders. But with the Wizards, so with the Commanders, let's start there. You guys have a new ownership. So it's kind of like got new ownership. You got the same players. You have the coaching staff there, even though you all added Eric Bieniemy on there. as your offensive coordinator, but you got Jack Del Rio, which I don't know why you guys got him. He sucked when he was the Raiders head coach. But when it comes to the Wizards got a new front office, but they still got the same head coach, which a lot of Wizards fans have complained about. I've kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt, but at this point, he got to get the job. He got to get this job done. I'm not expecting the Wizards to really do anything this upcoming season. However, I know if the team is losing, just like you just said about your coach for the Commanders, it's going to be the same thing for Wes Unseld Jr. His days are numbered. So my point is that I think when it comes down to the Commanders, is and I think you guys should get rid of the coach. I think you guys should do like a slight retool, not a full rebuild, but just more of a slight retool. I was just
I agree.
talking. I was just talking to my daughter's. Well, should I say my stepdaughter's dad? He's a Commanders fan, and one of the things he said, he's like, man, you guys need to get a linebacker and you need to get cornerback. What you think about that?
Let's see. So here's my thing. So I've been hearing like the little up and down criticisms all week about Emmanuel Forbes. Now, Emmanuel Forbes got benched in that Chicago game.
Right.
They benched him in that Chicago game. Now, people get on this, they get on this up and down trip, where they want to, when you're doing good and you're winning, now everybody want to talk praises and sing praises about you. But the minute you start to lose, then that's when everybody starts throwing you to hell. And it's like,
Right.
come on, dude. Like it's just been a couple of games. You got to give the guy a chance to grow.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to give the guy a chance to grow. You haven't even completed 5 games out of the season yet, and you got to give the guy a chance to grow. They're young. You got to remember these are young guys. This is a young team, Kane. This is a young team, and people got to understand that it's going to take time. You're not going to the Super Bowl this year. I've already accepted that. You're not going to the Super Bowl this year. I just want to see good games.
Dang, you sound like me, man. When it comes to the Wizards, I just want to see good games. So
Yeah.
let me bring the Raiders in there a little bit. I really wasn't going to talk about them, but I'm gonna bring them up a little bit. So with the Raiders, the Commanders and the Raiders are kind of like the same boat in some aspects. Even though I think you guys are a little bit far ahead than we are, but our quarterback is he's in my opinion he's a backup. Jimmy G is a backup in my opinion.
Right.
Our head coach is not a good one. He sucks. We're playing in a new stadium, new city, and I think we need to do what you guys did: get new ownership, bring in a new owner, new attitude, new ideas, and start all over. So it's to me that I think that's what needs to be done. Now, here's what I will say when I do talk to Commanders fans. When I talk to Commanders fans, some of the older ones anyway, some of them are stuck in the 80s. They want the team to be with the Hogs and smash mouth football. It's like, look, man, the Hogs, they're not there anymore. The NFL has changed. You guys got to get out of the 80s, get to what the modern NFL is. You can't keep expecting, like, there is no Gary Clark, there is no Art Monk on the field. You don't have a Daryl Green. Like, you got the guys that you have. You just need to add more pieces. Now, your front four is actually solid. And Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, Sweat, and Chase Young that's solid. Those are nice building blocks, real nice building blocks. Get yourself at least one good corner. You got yourself a solid defense. Like, your defense is not bad. The offensive line has always been an issue. It's shaky because Howell be running for his life out there, man.
I tell you what. The word that has been used a lot is patchwork.
Yeah.
Patchwork. And I hate hearing that word.
Right.
Patchwork. That's what it feels like with our offensive line. It's patchwork.
Yeah.
I mean, we grab little pieces from other teams. We grab Nick Gates. We grab Andrew Wiley from the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, that's fine. But you got to remember, these guys worked in continuity with other guys. And so you got to remember, like, that was the reason why those offenses were working so good, because they were having continuity with other guys. When you're trying to put all these guys by themselves into a situation where, okay, well, you look good when you was on this team, so now we're going to go ahead and take you and play for us. You don't realize that these guys by themselves individually, they may not be that great.
Mm-hmm.
But with continuity and with other pieces that are good, that make you good.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things, like, you know, people forget that stuff. And so I say, yeah, it's a patchwork offense. But again, like I said, maybe what they need to do is just try to work it together the best way they can this season. I mean, it hasn't been bad. Like, people say it's been horrible. I don't think it's been horrible. I don't think it's been that bad. I don't think it's been great.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's been that bad. You know,
right.
you seen the flashes. You seen flashes with Brian Robinson, and you know, even when Howell did have a chance to work in the pocket, look what he did. I mean, the boy did almost 400 yards despite that 20-point loss to the freaking Bears.
Right.
He threw for almost 400 yards. I mean, that's pretty dang good.
Yeah.
So my thing is, what they need to do is they'll have to go through the offseason again. They're going to have to wait for the draft. And I think they'll probably need to get a few more pieces in the offensive line. Yes. But for right now, man, just keep building on it. Just keep building on it. It's not bad. It's not bad.
Right.
So until that gets done, man, yeah, we're piecing it together. I believe in Eric Bieniemy. I believe in him. A lot of people love him. A lot of people love him, and I love him too, man. He's a heck of a coach. He's a heck of an offensive coach, an offensive mind. And I believe as a young black man, he hasn't had the chance to really get that head coaching job. And I think things don't shaping up right this year. And if Ron Rivera doesn't get his act together, yeah, them days are numbered.
Okay. I believe.
And I believe. Mate, I'm no palm reader or anything like that, but maybe that might be EB coming up next.
Could be. So let me, because I know we coming up on, we got like about 6 minutes or 40 seconds left. So let me tell you how do I feel when it comes down to the Wiz, because I know we hadn't talked too much about that. So the moves that they made, you know, as far as moving Bradley Beal, you already know, I talked to you about that offline. I was ready for them to move on past him. We got Jordan Poole. I actually like that. I think Jordan Poole's going to be solid. Kyle Kuzma, I like him. I don't love him, but I got a feeling that he'll be traded at some point. And then the rookie that we have, Bilal Coulibaly, I think his name is actually pronounced Bilal Coulibaly. He's going to be solid. So I like the pieces that I'm seeing that the Wizards are putting together. I do feel that the head coach will be replaced at some point, but we're in a rebuild. I know when I see on social media as far as Twitter, a lot of fans are kind of predicting how many wins. I don't care about that because this is a rebuilding season, so wins and losses is not a concern. What you said about the Commanders, hey, you just want to see, you know, good football. I want to just see entertaining basketball. I just want to see these young guys growing together, developing, and you know, I just want them to constantly add pieces. So, you know, the changes that this team has done is actually solid. I'm looking at the preseason games and they're looking solid. It is preseason. I get that it's preseason, but I just want the young guys to get the reps that they deserve. And as you said, when it comes down to the head coach for the Commanders, it's going to be the same thing with the head coach for the Wizards. I mean, they got assistant coaches that are good enough to be head coaches. So if he's not getting the job done, he'll be replaced. And you know who this front office is going to get, I'm not too sure. But I trust this front office. We finally got some people in place that knows what the hell they're doing. Just as much as you guys have new ownership, and the owner said, "Hey, this is the fans team." You want people in there that's just know what the hell they're doing. So let me ask you this question:
Yeah.
Where were you?
Yes, sir.
Where were you when the sale was finalized about the Commanders, and what was your reaction?
I was at work. I was at work. Well, I got the chime. So, I get stuff from Washington Post. So I got the chime. Went to Channel 9 News, and that's when I first heard about it. I was ecstatic, man. I was ecstatic. I mean, I was doing cartwheels, man. Right there in the lobby of my job. I was doing cartwheels. I was doing cartwheels. I was like, it's about dang time. But you know what, man? I'll be honest with you, dude. I was just like everybody else. I was just like even you was, man. You said it yourself. He said, man, Daniel Snyder ain't never leaving. He's never letting go of that team.
Yeah, I
He
did say
can't.
that.
There's nobody that can make him let go of that team. Remember, we
No. All right. Just got a little bit of difficulty. Well, this will conclude an episode of DC Hoopla. I am your main man, K Jose. Catch you on the next one.